Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Karma AP carry commentary guide, and now we've done one on Karma support already, so I'll put that one up in the cards for you guys to check out if you haven't yet already. And we just did a tier list very recently as well, where I did rank Karma among the S plus tier supports, and I believe the S tier Baron laners. In APC, I also put her in S tier, but in mid, I put her in A, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so basically, Karma can be played in like 4 roles. Basically, the only role technically, I guess you could even play her in the jungle, but technically she can be played in all 5 roles. But I really think her best role, as I mentioned in my tier list video, is indeed support. I think she's really good at support because obviously, her W and her E are more supportive spells. Now, her damaging spells are her Q and her ult. Obviously, you can do a lot of damage with both of these spells, but honestly, I feel that the Q's slow is very supportive as well, and the ult's AoE crowd control is very supportive. So even if you don't have a lot of damage, she's still gonna be doing really well. Now, aside from that, I feel that Karma just does really well in the support role. I just don't think she's that good in mid lane. But in APC and Baron lane is a little bit different. Now, the reason why I feel that is the case is because in Baron lane, she's just really good because she has very long basic attack range and very big Q range. So she's a really good pick into champions like Garen and Darius, who can't really move around too much. Typical like what's good, when like whoever like Vayne, is good against, Karma's good against as well. Whereas for the APC role, Karma is good just because among the APCs like Orianna and Ziggs and all that, Karma is just really good at the moment as a champion. And here you guys can see we got off like the double root, and we're just trading pretty aggressively in lane. We got a pretty non-meta bot lane of having a Malphite and a Karma, and we're against a very meta bot lane of Thresh and Lucian. So we'll see how the lane goes as we get along. But yeah, so basically, Karma can be played pretty much in all 5 roles, although I do think ranking her roles, I think probably support is her best role, followed by both APC and Baron because they are very, very situational, then mid, then jungle. I think jungle Karma really isn't all that good at all. But yeah, so probably we won't be doing a video on Karma mid or Karma top, because pretty much those 2 roles are similar to Karma APC in a way that your build is the same. You pretty much go for a carry style build of building AP instead of building supportive. But yeah, in case you guys didn't know, if you guys didn't see from my Karma support video, Karma still does quite a decent amount of damage when you build support. Of course, when you start with Staff of Flowing Water, which gives you AP, she does do a decent amount of damage as a support. So that's another thing to take note of, which is why I really think Karma support is really that good. So here we have like our Master Yi going in. I flash over to join the fight. Pretty dangerous move, but it's alright considering we have like 4 people all together. Master Yi decides to split up from the group, and he's getting chased down by the Ahri. Ahri picks up the kill on Master Yi, and I ult the Ahri for good measure, but I didn't really need to ult. I got the kill with my Q. But you guys can see how huge the ult is. Like, Karma's ult is really disgusting. Like, if you really think about it, those huge AoE ults, it's like her ult is roughly the size of like a cannon ult. Like, obviously it's a lot bigger than a Malphite ult, but Malphite ult is instant, so that's a little bit different. Like Seraphine and Sona ult is just a straight line, but hers is like a huge AoE. So here I do get engaged on by the Thresh, but I'm turning it around. Lucian ults into the Malphite, who body blocks for me and allows me to get the kill onto the Lucian. Kind of just auto-attacking the Thresh. He's trying to kite around his minions, which actually isn't really a good thing for him, because if you guys didn't know, Karma actually has an easier time hitting you if you're standing in your minions, because Karma's non-mantra Q does a little bit of AoE. So if you're standing inside your minions, if I hit the minion with a Q, you will also get hit by the Q. So it really doesn't help for you to stand inside minions. But thankfully for the Thresh, I didn't actually have my Q up, so I was just auto-attacking him down for the kill. So regardless, we now have the red buff, which is going to be really useful for the slows and just for the extra damage in general. Of course, being a mage, I don't really make the best use of the red buff. So here my team is going for the Mountain Dragon, and Master Yi does secure it. The enemy team is coming in from 2 fronts. Malphite ults absolutely nothing, and I do get a kill on the enemy Master Yi. So here we are just chasing down the Thresh, who has nowhere to go, and I do get the kill on the Thresh, putting a ward in the enemy Tribrush to see if the Lucian is there, which he is not. So yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna briefly go through the Karma build. So basically on Karma APC or Baron lane or mid lane, basically AP Karma, you want to start off with a Luden's Echo, and then you can move on to getting a Rabadon's Death Cap. Now your last 3 items are going to be Void Staff, Morellonomicon, and Oblivion Orb in whatever order is more appropriate for the game. But your 2 core items at the start is going to be Luden's Echo and Rabadon's Death Cap. So Karma's Q really hurts when you get, like, you know, AP. You can half health someone with like an empowered Q. And yeah, so here, as you can see, we use our E to get the movement speed to dodge Lucian's ult. So here, the enemy team is 4-man collapsing on bot. Master Yi dies, and me and Malphite has to, of course, retreat out of there. So here, Malphite goes to defend the tower, but I'm not so keen to do that, because if the enemy team all still stuck around as a 4, they could easily 4-man dive the 2 of us, because Malphite doesn't actually have his ult up because he just used it in the previous team fight. And yeah, you know, it's pretty diveable, so I wouldn't really want to be under my tower against 4 enemies. But Karma is one of the hardest characters to dive. Now you will see what I'm talking about a little bit later on in this video, where I do get dived 1v2 and I still you know, get out of it alive. So the reason why that is the case is because you know, with your huge AoE ult, if you ult under the tower, they will get sucked back into the tower range, and if you combo that with your W, you know, you can root 2 people under your tower, so it's really hard to dive a Karma, and it's really hard to chase a Karma as well, because she can W and then use E to run away, and if you keep on chasing her, you will trigger the tether and you will get rooted. I believe it is here that I try to get dived. So here I get hit by the Thresh hook, and here I ult both of them back into the tower and combo it with my W, root both of them, and here, as you guys can see, I get a cheeky double kill under the tower of the enemy's tower dive. So you guys can really see that it is really hard to dive a Karma when she has her abilities up. Even if she doesn't have her ult up, she still has her W, so unless you can burst her within a second or so, diving a Karma, it really isn't the best idea in the world. And I wouldn't really want to dive a Karma either. So here I'm just going to take their fruit, take their tower as well. And we are really ahead at this point in time. If you guys can see, we're 7-0-2 with a completed Luden's Echo. We completed 1 needlessly large rod as well as our boots. So here we can straight up go for the death cap off that double kill and tower take. So we're in a really good position now. 2 core items completed, still no deaths, and we are going to be, you know, just cruising along with this match. So despite that, you guys can see that the goal lead for my team is at about 3k at the moment. Irelia is really fed as well. As I mentioned in my tier list, Irelia is really strong at this point in time. I'm of course really fed, but the rest of my team is not doing too well. Shen and Master Yi not doing too well, but Shen will, you know, be making some plays later on in the game, so we'll have to see what happens then. So here, I'm just pretty much just sieging the mid lane tower, and I'm just trying to unleash everything I have on the Ahri, because I have my 2 core items completed already, and I'm going to be doing a lot of damage. So pretty much I'm just trying to hit anybody I can. Here I face check into the river, and I get hit by all of Thresh's CC. So I'm going to have to flash the wall, because Dragon is of course coming up. So Thresh was just clearing the vision around the area. Really good thing as a support to do. So I foolishly walk into the river. That was, of course, my bad, my mistake. And here comes the Infernal Drake. So Darius, for some reason, is backing when the Infernal Drake is coming up. Malphite ults in and hits, I think catches Ahri on the edge, but nothing really comes of it because no one is there to follow up. I get my ult off onto 2, and we kill both. Irelia kills both of them. So here we got a kill onto 3 members of the enemy team. So it's an easy, free Infernal Dragon for us. I say that, but technically our jungler isn't alive, so it isn't really that free, but if the enemy comes in contest, they likely die anyway, so you know, aside from some kind of miracle steal, it's pretty much free anyway. So here I'm just pushing out the bot lane before I back, I believe. Yep, there we go. So I'm just gonna back. Of course, always push out your lane before you back, and in the mid lane some shenanigans is going on. Shen is getting chased. Here I get Zhonya's Hourglass. Of course, Karma is a relatively immobile mage. She doesn't really have any like blinks. She does of course have the speed up from her E, but I do enjoy the safety of having the Zhonya's Hourglass. Now of course, another option you could go for is Proto Belt. Now, how Proto Belt could be helpful is, for example, if you have a tether onto someone with your W and they are running out, flashing out, or you know whatnot, dashing out, you can use your Proto Belt to follow and hopefully maintain the tether to get that CC. So that could be another interesting use of the Proto Belt. Of course, aside from that, you can always use it to chase or run away, the standard uses for the Proto Belt. So here Rift Herald is coming up in like roughly 40 seconds or so, but everybody's already at the Rift Herald area. Me and Irelia are just trying to push down the mid lane, which is very low. Master Yi picks up a double onto the enemy Master Yi, and as well as the Darius. So in case it was not obvious enough, I didn't mention this explicitly, but this is obviously a PvP match, because I'm not the best Karma player in the world. I'm not really going to bring Karma into ranked yet until I've practiced her at least a little bit in PvP. And obviously we have a Master Yi on either team, so it should be relatively obvious that we are indeed in a PvP match. But just putting it out there and pointing it out in case people didn't realize and they thought this was a ranked match. So it isn't. It's just a PvP match. So here, looking at the status of what's going on, pretty much my team is in a pretty commanding lead of still about 5k, but of course, things can change on a dime, and the later part of this game actually gets really interesting. And yeah, another thing I want to kind of put out there is I'm likely not going to make a Shen video. I played quite a number of matches on Shen, and actually one or two of the matches, I wouldn't say I was carrying because I was playing a tank, but I was doing pretty well, and my team just lost the match. And I really don't enjoy playing Shen all that much because I'm not really a tank kind of guy. I'm obviously an AD carry main, so I don't really enjoy playing tanks or top laners in general. But I did try to get some gameplay for Shen, but I don't think it's gonna happen. If it does, then it does. If it doesn't, then it's, what we all expected. So, yeah, so here, as you guys can see, we already got the bot lane tower, so we're just gonna rotate to mid lane, of course, and we're just gonna see what we can do. Our team is in a huge skirmish near the second tier tower, which we are winning. Master Yi barely gets out alive, and here we're just gonna try our best to take the second tier tower. Alright, here I get caught by Darius' Proto Belt hook, and I'm trying to kite him away. I exhaust him, get off the tether, and ult him away from me. So here, I kind of messed up there because he managed to full stack on me and ult me, so I do get my first death of the game, and it leads to a chain, or not really a chain, leads to another kill for the Darius, and then 2 kills for the Darius in total. But I did think I could take him out, and I do believe I could if he didn't max stack his ultimate, his hemorrhage on me, so he could ult me for a whole host of damage. But yeah, obviously I kind of misplayed there. I allowed him to full stack onto me, and that is something you should never do when you're fighting a Darius. So yeah, and Darius, as I mentioned, is a S+ Baron laner. He has gone for a Black Cleaver into Death Dance and Starix Gauge kind of build. That's a pretty good build for Darius, especially with the Death Dance, of course. Now, of course, it doesn't counter Karma, but just the passive of the Death Dance is pretty useful. And we are a pretty AD heavy team with like a Master Yi and a Irelia who are like hyper carries. So his Death Dance is going to serve him pretty well. Alright, so here I'm pretty fast. I'm just going to take the blue buff. After all, blue buff is likely going to be way more useful on Karma than Master Yi, unless of course Master Yi is fed, which in this case, kinda, but not exactly. Either way, he has sort of a strange build of going Black Cleaver and Master Yi, and he's going for some sort of defensive item with a Warden's Mill and a Giant's Belt, so I'm not too sure what the Master Yi is building. Maybe a Randuin's Omen or something, but here, Malphite finally gets a good ult. I ult over the Malphite ult, and here I'm chasing down the Ahri. I get the root off, but Ahri ults away. Lucian is in pretty deep, and he's starting to realize he's not going to be able to 1v4, so he kites away. And yeah, my team is generally winning the fight because obviously we got the lead in the early game, so we're kind of just a little bit like snowballing at the moment. But yeah, Karma APC does have a place just because AP bot laners aren't magically going to go away. Now, of course, ADCs are now a lot stronger with the Stormrazor buff, so I do expect to see a lot more of ADCs and a lot less of APCs, but it still doesn't change the fact that APCs will always have a place. Like if your team has no AD, or if no AP, I'm sorry, then probably it's going to be a good idea. Here we try to start up the Baron, the enemy team tries to, interfere with that, and here we're just trying to win the fight. First, take note how Master Yi is still on the Baron and not bothering with the fight at all. Pretty disgusting behavior by the Master Yi. Could have easily won the fight if he actually helped out. He's still on the Baron. He imagines that the fight doesn't even exist. And here I tried to Zanya's and Flash, but it doesn't work. Master Yi dies to the Baron, gets executed, doesn't even take a single hit from the enemy, and doesn't even try to help in the fight. She just dies to the Baron straight up. I have no idea what this Master Yi is doing. In comes the Shen to try to save the day. Proto Belt's in and gets the kill onto the Lucian and hits the Master Yi, and the Baron finishes the job. So the Shen saved the enemy team saved us from the enemy team getting the Baron. So finally Shen actually makes a good play. Now I don't believe Shen ults me this entire match if I remember correctly, but this Master Yi has issues. This isn't gonna be the first time. This is the first time, but this isn't gonna be the last time he simply just focuses on taking Baron and just ignores the fight. So this Master Yi, not the most experienced player in the world, but of course we're in PvP, so I didn't actually check the ranks of the people in this match, but likely at least 1 or 2 people on either team are not gonna be too high ranked, because normally in PvP you do actually match with a lot of people who are lower ranked than you, so it is not entirely accurate in terms of champion representation, which is why I do not do complete guides on PvP matches. I only do complete guides on ranked matches, so that at least the standard of gameplay is higher. But of course, when I'm playtesting characters and all that, PvP is the way to go, and I will still make content out of it if I can. Because after all, you can still learn, from PvP matches. Doesn't necessarily have to be a ranked match to learn something. So yeah. Alright, here the Elder Dragon is about to spawn in 20 or so seconds. So we do want to, of course, get ready for that. Elder Dragon is, of course, probably the most major objective in the game. And in Elemental Rift, that will also be the case. Alright, so here we find ourselves in a fight in the top side of the map. And huge Malphite out onto, I believe, 4 people. I layer my ult over it again, and yeah, we pretty much destroyed their entire team. Aside from the Lucian, who probably didn't get hit by the ult. Master Yi gets a triple. I pick up the fruit, and I'm gonna clear the wave. Now here, in a ranked match, this would be the end of the game, because if you guys can see the death timers, they all are like 30 something seconds. If we barrel down mid as 4 people, Lucian cannot defend, we get inhibitor and we win the match. So if this was a ranked match, you can pretty much take it to the game is over here. But for some reason, even though I'm pinging to attack the Nexus, my team refuses to do that, and they instead go for the Elder Dragon. So I can only assume either they don't want to end the game, or they don't realize that we can end the game. So either way, this game is going to be prolonged. As you guys can see, it is a replay. It's going to be like 25 minutes, and we're at about 18 minutes now. So we could have saved 7 minutes if we just simply went to end the game right then and there. But obviously it doesn't happen, and the game ends up, going on for another 7 minutes. And it does get pretty spicy, where we do lose a couple of fights later on. So it does get to a very interesting game, but, as I said, if this was a ranked game, pretty much the game was already won before the enemies even had a chance to come back. Alright, so here Darius kind of gets caught with Ahri as well. Actually, I get caught as well, so here I try to do my best to do what I can. I do manage to kill the Ahri, but Lucian just eviscerates me. He does way too much damage. And yeah, I'm gone. So here, Master Yi, again, still just doing the Baron. He doesn't see any fight happening. He doesn't care. He's just doing the Baron. Irela trying her best. And Shen hightailing it out of there. Master Yi, meanwhile, still on the Baron, suddenly realizes, wait a minute, my whole team is dead. And the enemy team goes on the Baron instead. Master Yi actually manages to avoid the Darius with his Alpha Strike and kill the Darius. He is apparently legendary somehow. I guess because he got executed by the Baron in the previous fight, he didn't actually die. So here, Shen, once again, with his mop on cleanup duty, and he manages to kill the entire enemy team aside from the Thresh. So the enemy team only has 1 Baron buff, so it's not the worst scenario in the world. But really, this Master Yi, if he just joined us in the fight, we could have won like way earlier. I mean, we could have already won way earlier, but we could have won even earlier than that if he was with us for the previous Baron fight. Alright, so regardless, Here, Shen, with the redemption, with 2 huge saves after the 2 huge Baron blunders by my team. So Shen is, Shen is all right in my book. Anyways, we are 10, 3, and 12, of course, with the core item build, together with a Void Staff, and I've also built the Oblivion Orb, which will, of course, decrease the healing of, champions like Master Yi, like Lucian, and like Darius, especially. So, yeah, we are then going for Oblivion Orb, not Oblivion Orb, we're then actually going for, what's the item called? Infinity Orb, not Oblivion Orb, we're going for Infinity Orb. Yep, we're going for Infinity Orb after that, because we don't need to necessarily complete the Morellonomicon. Building the Infinity Orb gives, of course, more damage, so we're just going to do that. So here we can see the team, enemy team is somewhere in the jungle to above us, and we want to be really cautious about that. But we're moving as a 4-man unit. Irelia hovering a little bit behind. The Master Yi sort of split pushing the top lane. So here I'm pinging that the Master Yi is split pushing top lane. Somebody needs to stop him, and a fight breaks out. As I'm busy pinging, I'm busy getting caught as well. Of course, I walked up a little bit too far. Honestly, I was trying to kind of bait there because I had my Zhonya's up, but I didn't manage to Zhonya's or Flash before I get caught by absolutely everything. And here the enemy team wins the fight. Malphite and Shen are alive. Shen tries to stop the Master Yi in the top lane. And does he manage to do it? No, he does not. Master Yi hightails it out of there. And Shen is on the chase apparently. I'm not too sure, but Shen's gonna back. That's the right move because the enemy team is barreling down, going for our inhibitor. Now the enemy team still has all the inhibitors up, so this is still a very winnable match for the enemy team. Of course, because we didn't end there when we had the chance. So they're gonna actually take the inhibitor. Malphite getting charmed by the Ahri, but Malphite is a really tanky boy. Look at him tanking the whole Lucian out, tanking a Darius out as well. Malphite survives on the sliver of HP and gets out 2 enemy ultimates. That's not too bad. And in comes Master Yi to take the second inhibitor tower. Of course, Shen's gonna put a stop to that. Flash taunt by the Shen, and doing a huge amount of auto attack damage because of the build that he went for. So here I'm back up and alive, so I'm gonna be clearing the mid lane. As you can see, Shen has a Triforce and a Wit's End, so he has the attack speed, he has the attack damage, and then he's going for tank. A pretty interesting Shen build to say the least. Alright, so here we're just pushing down mid lane. There's not too much we can do. Baron's coming up in 20 seconds, so we're gonna see if we can do anything about that. But you know how the last 2 Barons went. It really didn't go too hot for us. So here I'm just securing a little bit of vision in the enemy jungle. A little bit out of position there, so I'm gonna have to zoom my way out of there with my E. I'm just trying my best to clear the wave here. Nothing too much happening on the map. We're pretty neutral. Irelia getting off a pretty decent split push. And Master Yi still in the base. So here, I actually see the enemy bot lane and Master Yi on the Irelia. So I'm immediately pinging for Baron because there's 3 members of the enemy team, including their jungler, on the opposite side of the map. But the issue is, our Master Yi is sitting in the base. No idea what he's doing yet again. He's sitting in the base for some reason, and he's not exactly here, so we're gonna try our best to secure the Baron, but we don't have enough DPS, so it's a good idea to just retreat. The enemy team is coming. By enemy team, I mean the Darius. Darius goes in with a Protobelt Hook again. I'm gonna flash out, and I actually managed to hit my Mantra Q onto like 2 people in a choke point, and here I managed to ult to kill the Thresh. And here we have a full-on team fight breaking out. I have my tether on 2 people. My tether actually kills the Master Yi. And here, Darius is respawning. Darius dies, and at this point, we kill everybody aside from the Ahri and the Lucian. Of course, me and Malphite trying to pick up the Baron, but the team is not on the. My team's not on the same page. I'm gonna have to back because the minions are entering our base, and we have to, of course, put a stop to that. So I'm going to stop our base from getting destroyed by minions. I'm gonna have to clear the minions, and I'm pinging to attack the base. Like, at least get an inhibitor. There's only 2 people left alive now. Of course, those are the 2 main carries of the enemy team, but still, we should be getting something out of a late game team fight win. Like, come on. So only the Lucian is left alive. Like, just the Lucian, only the Lucian. And here I'm still on not cleanup, but rather wave clear duty. So here I'm gonna go down to the bot lane and clear the bot lane as well, because eventually that's gonna push in, and we don't want that to happen. So here, I'm gonna back and finish up my final item, which is Infinity Orb. I did actually eventually go for the Merlonomicon first, because I just could build it and complete an item sooner. The health is pretty useful as well. So here I'm just going straight down mid to help out my team. I can sense a fight is gonna break out. Like you know how volatile it is, especially when you're playing solo. Here in goes the Darius for the fight, and here I'm just trying to do what I can. I get off a relatively huge ult. Here I'm cutting away from the Master Yi, exhausting the Master Yi, and Master Yi dies. Darius tries to make something happen, but nothing's gonna stick onto the wall. Lucian's 1 HP. He has to retreat. And Thresh is somewhere else, just split pushing. Where somewhere else I actually mean the top lane, but I don't know what he's doing there. So here we're finally going to end the game. 7 minutes later than we should have. But anyways, guys, I'll leave you guys with the stats. So thank you guys for watching the video, and goodbye.